こんにちは。ハリケーンフットボールです。今回の教材は、リーズユナイテッドの田中碧に関する動画です。田中碧の移籍について、騒がしくなってきていますが、実際のクラブ名や金額も話しているように、具体的に動きそうな、すでに何かしら動いてそうな様相です。この噂について、ダニエルファルカも記者会見で質問を受けていましたが、それを聞いたリーズファンは、さらに怒りを感じているようにさえ見えます。今回は、おなじみの田中碧を推しているケイジーが、この一連の動きについてリアクションをし、いつも通り、田中碧の出場時間の少なさによる移籍が実際に起こりそうなことに、怒りと呆れに溢れています。実際にどのように話しているのか、チェックしてみましょ
う。And of course, now there was a lot of other stuff in regards to the history, the fixture of Man United, Leeds United. Man, honestly, seriously, come on. Even Danny Farker said it'd be disrespectful to talk about what a win could do because we need to get to the fixture first. And he's right with that one. But he was definitely wrong with some other things because Graham Smith was the one that actually asked him about Tanaka because the news report broke last night. And we're going to have to get into it. I feel like this is the Tanaka fan channel almost because I've done like a few videos in a row. And a few of you weren't convinced with Ekrem Kana, the Turkish journalist, because he's very hit and miss. And I do agree with that. He does get some things right, but he does throw a lot of stuff at the wall. But then Florian Plettenberg come out, and Florian Plettenberg is one of the best ones out there in terms of when it comes to information, however he gets it. He's very good, very, very good. And when this broke last night, I just said to myself, it was inevitable. It was inevitable. It was obvious. I've said that this was going to happen, but when it actually does happen, you're like, this was avoidable. And this is what Plettenberg put out last night. Al Tanaka is open to leaving Leeds this summer. He is currently leaning towards a move within the Premier League. Freiburg are also interested, although they're not his priority. If Leeds United are willing to let him go, a potential fee could be in the region of 10 to 12 million euros. And let's go to the lower end of that. 10 million euros is around £8.5 million. Yeah, I'm hot about it. I'm not gonna lie. And even with Farker, he was asked about it today. Like I say, Graham Smith brought it up, and Farker was doing what he does. He didn't exactly say that Tanaka wants to stay because he can't say that because it's not true. However, Plettenberg got this information. It's either through Tanaka's agent or whatever it may be. But the fact is he's got this information because Tanaka's agent wants it out there. And again, this is not on Al Tanaka. I don't want to hear anybody say this is not the right time for Leeds United. Al Tanaka's agent don't care about Leeds United when he's looking at his pay packet going, wait a minute, where's my cut of the appearance fee this week? Why is my client not playing this week? Where's his minutes going? He don't care. And he shouldn't care. This could have all been avoided if Tanaka was given the ample playing time. And Farker was talking today about he started well and he's been self-critical, which he keeps on throwing back in his face. But that happens to everyone who actually, is self-critical because people don't usually like to look within and see what their own faults are. But people that deflect stuff will just hammer him with it. But he also said something that made me go, what's he talking about here? Because he talked about he's played well in the last couple of weeks. He's doing well, but he needs to do it against the top teams. Tanaka literally scored back-to-back against Chelsea and Liverpool earlier this season. And that's where he lost me with what he was talking about. And it's that thing again that we've seen with Farker before, but again, he's not alone. Every manager does this for players that they favor. Talking about that it's about consistency. Where's the consistency being for Aronson for a few games? Where's the consistency for Gruev until he had that Stoichkov game and then went quiet after that? Where's the consistency there? Where was the consistency for Okafor with 16 games without a goal or assist, but still getting played game after game? This is the problem that I have. And this is the kind of thing that was avoidable. And we're talking about Tanaka here. He was also asked about Sean Longstaff, and he's had a hard time getting back into the team since his injury. He even said that Tanaka was ahead. I need to remind you that we paid £15 million for Sean Longstaff. And if this report is true, and because the problem is people will say, we can't just let him go for 10 to 12 million. Tanaka's agent would rightly say, you don't have a right to demand much more because you've hardly played him. You've hardly played him. You bought him for 3 million. You've hardly played him. So where you getting this higher figure from? And that's exactly what they'll say. And if a player is unhappy and wants to leave and has got other options, they're well within their rights to do that. The club are ultimately in control, but only by so much when you haven't been playing a player. Now, it's different for, let's say, the situation of Elliot Anderson, who is also in a relegation battle around us. He's been playing consistently. He's getting all the plaudits. He's going to be going for Forest hope for around 100 million. I don't know if they're going to get that. But the point being, his situation is similar, where his agent keeps on talking about he's wanted by this player, this club, that club. But he's been playing consistently, and Forest in there can demand what they want because they've been playing him. We haven't been playing Tanaka. We haven't been playing Tanaka at all. Not to what he, rightly deserves. And I look at the clubs in the Premier League that he could possibly go to. I know some people think Palace. The one that I can't shake, and I even thought if we didn't go up when we got promoted, was Brighton. And I see a reunion with Matoma and Tanaka, and I can definitely see that happening. I would be stunned if Brighton on the list. Farke as well was talking about he's not a young guy anymore. He's in the prime of his career. He's 26, 27. It's not that he's over the hill. You know what I mean? He's talking about give him an opportunity in the championship. He was giving all the selling points as to why Tanaka should possibly stay. But players need game time. And we haven't given him the game time that he deserves in this team. And the thing is, if he goes to another club, let's say he goes to Brighton or somewhere like that, he'll get played more. And it will be the situation again with the Charlie Creswell, where he's gone for a small fee. He'll go to his next club and perform the way I think he will perform. And he'll be worth at least double to what we're going to let him go for potentially. But this can be fixed. It can be fixed if he's given the right game time in the next few weeks. He's got to be an important player going forward in this relegation run-in. And then we can have a more serious conversation. But if he keeps on getting the minutes that he's been getting, sometimes not even getting off the bench, people, that's the worst thing. He's not been getting off the bench in a lot of games. Then maybe Tanaka will be more open to stay. But as I always say to people, only the people that are loyal to the football club are fans. You can't expect it from players who have got no loyalty or attachment to want to stay just because you're passionate about the football club. It doesn't work like that. And with his agent and Plettenberg getting this kind of information out there must be something already emotional. And even Daniel Farke saying today, he didn't look convincing. He looked as convincing. I'd say he looked as convincing as when before the January window opened and he said, nobody's asked to leave, but then we have Jack Harrison leave on loan. You can't keep everybody happy. Football just does not work like that. And especially in today's age, it doesn't work like that. And it's just annoying to me because I've been saying this. If we stay up, it can be the detriment of our better, technical players. And when we get to the end of the season, they're going to be worth much less because they're hardly getting played. And unfortunately, it's come home to roost with this Tanaka story. So, yeah, I don't blame him that he's open to leaving. I think the only way that he stays is if he gets, good game time from now until the end of the season and maybe a change in coach in the summer. But I also look at another way, people. Do Leeds United even change the coach if we win? Forget even win the FA Cup. We've got to the FA Cup semi-final and we survive relegation. Do they change him? I don't think they do. But this will be another case of letting go of a talented player because we've gone with 8-9 defensive players most match days. And it's just so frustrating that this is going to happen. And then the club are going to be in the summer, it was hard to find a player of quality for 20 to 30 million when we've had one right here on our books, ready to go, ready to play, and has not been given the opportunities to do so. But meanwhile, I'm sure Sean Longstaff will still be here, the player that if Sean Longstaff was as good as he was, there would have been more competition for him last summer, but there wasn't. It was literally us. I think Everton were interested, but then one of their players decided to stay and they dropped out. It was us against Newcastle, basically. That's it. And we outbidded. But Tanaka, there will be competition, not just from Premier League, but as I say, in Germany as well. And yeah, it's just annoying. It's just very frustrating because I want to build with players like Tanaka, Stach, and Ampadu and add to that. But it feels like we're going to get those kind of players taken away and be left with the Gruevs, Aronson, and Longstaffs. And that just does nothing for me. But yeah, as I said, I was annoyed last night. I'm probably annoyed more now after hearing Farke speak about him in the way that he did. But yeah, we've got a tough job on our hands in the next upcoming game as a team against Man United. But look, we'll preview that tomorrow. We'll go through and see what our best possible lineup can be with all the injuries that we've got. And yeah, and we'll speak about our relegation odds in that stream as well. But listen, people, that will do. I've gone long, but yeah, I'm just very frustrated with the news in terms of that. Yeah, just annoyed. Like the video before you go, and I'll see you in the next one, people. Peace out.
次は解説です。今回はネイティブらしい表現やイディオムもありましたので、本日の解説をチェックしてみましょ
う。But he does throw a lot of stuff at the wall.
この throw something at the wall はネイティブがよく使う比喩表現です。直訳すると壁に投げるですが、意味は全く違います。ポイントはくっつくものだけが残るというイメージです。つまり、何でもいいからとにかく試してみるということです。ただしこの表現には少しネガティブなニュアンスがあります。あまり深く考えずに適当にいろいろ試している感じです。ネイティブっぽさを出すにはとても良い表現です。
Right, but he does throw a lot of stuff at the wall. Right, but he does throw a lot of stuff at the wall. A potential fee could be in the region of 10 to 12 million euros.
このインデロイジャンオブは数字を少しフォーマルに言いたい時の表現です。意味はおよそ大体、何々前後です。会話ならアバウトやアラウンドでも言えますが、こちらの方が少し固めです。ニュース記事やスポーツ報道、ビジネスの説明でよく使われます。特に金額、人数、期間などをざっくり言うときに便利です。ロイジャンは普通は地域という意味ですが、ここでは範囲という意味です。少し大人っぽい英語にしたいときに役立つ表現です。
A potential fee could be in the region of 10 to 12 million euros. A potential fee could be in the region of 10 to 12 million euros to look within and see what their own faults are.
この look within はネイティブが自分を見つめ直すという意味で使う表現です。直訳すると内側を見るですが、実際には自分の心や考え方を振り返るという意味です。特に自分の欠点や本音に向き合う場面で使われます。例えば、誰かのせいにする前に自分を省みるという時にぴったりです。少し大人っぽくて深みのある表現です。英語らしい比喩表現として覚えておくと便利です。
To look within and see what their own faults are. To look within and see what their own faults are. You know, it's not that he's over the hill.
このオーバーザヒルは、英語でとてもよく知られているイディオムです。直訳すると、丘を越えたですが、実際には全盛期を過ぎたという意味です。年齢の話でも使えますし、スポーツ選手の能力について話すときにも使われます。ただし少し失礼に聞こえることがあるので、使う場面には注意が必要です。比喩としてとてもわかりやすく、英語らしい表現です。日常会話でも映画やドラマでも見かけることがあります。ネイティブっぽいイディオムとして覚えておくと便利です。
You know, it's not that he's over the hill. You know, it's not that he's over the hill. If we stay up, it can be the detriment of our better, technical players.
このデツリメントは少し固めですがとても便利な単語です。意味は不利益、悪影響、損害です。特に何かを優先した結果、別のものが犠牲になるときによく使います。会話では少し固めですが、解説や評論ではとても自然です。英語らしいフォーマルな言い回しとして覚えておくと役立ちます。特にニュース英語や分析系の動画でよく合う単語です。
If we stay up, it can be the detriment of our better, technical players. If we stay up, it can be the detriment of our better, technical players. And unfortunately, it's come home to roost with this Tanaka story.
このカムホムトローストは、英語らしい比喩表現の一つです。直訳すると、ねぐらに戻ってくるですが、実際の意味は、ツケが回ってくるです。過去の悪い行動や判断の結果が、後になって自分に返ってくるときに使います。日本語のしっぺ返しや因果応報に近い表現です。少し固めですが、ニュースや解説ではよく映える表現です。意味を知らないと直訳ではわかりにくいので、まとめて覚えるのがおすすめです。英語の比喩表現になれるためにも、とても良いイディオムです。
And unfortunately, it's come home to roost with this Tanaka story. And unfortunately, it's come home to roost with this Tanaka story.
いかがでしたか？田中碧の移籍の話が、ここに来て多くなっているのは明らかであり、ケイジーが言う通り、代理人などが意図的に流しているものだと考えるのは自然でしょう。プレミアリーグのクラブ名が具体的に出ていないのは少し引っかかりますが、可能性としては、田中碧はプレミアリーグでまだプレーしたい中で、ドイツからは具体的な話があるものの、プレミアリーグの中では具体的にクラブ名が言える程度ではないのかもしれませんし、だからこそ今の話を外に出すことで、プレミアリーグからの関心を引こうとしているのであれば、それも十分にありそうな気がします。ケイジーが言っていた中で、特に印象的だったのは、田中碧自身が、まだレベルが足りていないと発言していたことについて、ケイジーの表現は少し難しくも感じるものでしたが、自身を見つめ直し反省できるような人は、こういうことがよく起こるといい、こういうことというのは、そもそも自身を顧みること自体が、人間がしたがらないことであり、田中碧はそれができているということと、それが良いことにもかかわらず、ファルカの受け取り方は、自分自身に批判的な、メンタルが弱い選手のようにさえ感じており、それは、ファルカ自身が、話をそらしたり、責任から逃れようとしているような人間であるために、そういう人は自身を顧みることができないために、それを批判してしまうのだ、という表現をしています。まさにそれが、ファルカが田中碧のことを精神的にもっと強くないといけないと言っているように聞こえていた部分に重なり、田中碧が損してしまっているものだと感じていました。この移籍の話は、まだまだこれから2点3点していくと思いますので、また楽しみに追っていきたいと思います。本日もご視聴いただきありがとうございました。またすぐにお会いしましょう。